I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone. We are going to start our Planning and Infrastructure GIS Committee meeting at this point in time. Opening comments, only thing I have is that thank you all for coming. And at this time, we will have public comments at this time.
It's Sammy Mears. Now that school has started, everyone should be very much aware of the flashing lights and the speed light cameras. Nobody wants to get any tickets, so if they would, please be very careful and safe of the bus drivers and also the school zones as well. And we need a bench and a covering over at the South Point Place Apartments.
Are there any other public comments? Seeing there's none, Madam Clerk, do we have enough quorum to vote for the minute? Okay. Both moved and second that the approval of the minutes of April 8, 2025. Are there any questions? If not, all in favor? All right. Okay, thank you. So we will move to the first item that's on the agenda is the update on the water tower project. Brandon, would you come?
Good afternoon.
No.
How are y'all? You have questions, or you want me to talk about the project?
You have any updates on it?
I do. Actually, we had a meeting today to discuss the planning phase for the West Shreveport, which is in Councilwoman Bowman's district, being able to operate and take that tank offline. We're tentatively starting for October. That's our goal, to get that offline and start the rehab work there. And then things go as planned. The next October, we will then move to the St. Vincent tank. And so everything seems to be working accordingly. They're wrapping up the port tank now with some of the work we needed with piping, valves, and then also the painting and the new logo the new port logo, I should say. So we're moving along. Hopefully in the next year and a half, 2 years or less, we should have them all completed. 70th and Pines has been completed. Looks great. Not only that, I don't want to steal Chris's thunder. He's going to talk about water projects in a minute, but the generator project, I'll let him talk about. But the carbon silo, as y'all remember, during the algae bloom that we had due to seasonally warm weather in winter, the carbon silo was put back online and it needed upgrades, but we made it work. And so it's under contract now. We are working. We have a company coming in October, and we actually saved a lot of money. If we had to replace and do the whole silo, it was going to be about $750,000. But the tank itself is in great shape. So basically, what we're doing is the innards, the inner workings of the feed system. So it's going to be about $250,000 to do that part, and that's going to start in October. But the benefit is this company will bring in a temporary feed system while they take that offline, as to not interrupt that operation. Because if you'll remember that it controls our taste and odor. And so it's a great benefit. So a lot of good things going on, not to mention our SCADA upgrade that we're underway right now.
Anyone have any questions? So, Brandon, I don't know if you remember, but on July 22nd, 2025, at the council meeting, you and I had a conversation.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I don't know if you can remember that far back, but it starts off by, Brandon, will you come up, please? You remember the meeting?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so I asked you for some specific things. And
Sure.
of course, I have not heard from you from that day up until this one. So one was, how did you pick this company? Did you select the company? Did y'all have a committee, or how did this company come about? You remember that?
I do. And I'm sorry, I sent all of you an email with all the bid documentations and a little
No,
recap.
understand what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
I specifically asked you to send me some information. I never received it.
Oh, I do apologize. I sent the council an email with all of that information. I'm sorry. I can resend it to you. I sent it not long after that meeting. Basically, I'll tell you what the information was. Basically, in that it shows the bid documentation where we went through the construction bid process, and that went through our purchasing division, and it was a lowest bidder. I believe there were two companies, and the Dixie Painting, the one that was selected, was the lowest bidder. And they both met the specs, they met the qualifications, and so that was the lowest bidder. So that's how the contractor was chosen, if I'm answering your question correctly.
Okay. Who were the contractors?
Dixie Painting is the one that was awarded. I don't recall the other one. Not off
Do
the
you
top of
have
my
it
head,
in
I'm
your-
sorry.
Do you have it in your email that you sent?
I'm sorry?
Do you have it in the email that you sent?
I believe it was in the bid documentation, the award letters were sent, but I can resend that information. That's no problem.
Did you send the committee members in that email as well?
I sent it to the whole council.
Okay. But you don't have it on your phone now?
No, I mean, yeah, well, my phone's over there. I could pull it up and look. It's been a while back. And while we're sitting there, while y'all are carrying on with the meeting, I'll find it and I'll resend it to you. It just basically shows the bid documentation, how we go about that, just in the contract process. And then it has the award
How
letter
many
from.
committee members you have?
It wasn't a committee. That one was not a committee. That was just done by a construction bid. So it would have been the lowest bidder. So we
y'all
don't
didn't-
have a
Y'all didn't
committee.
have a committee?
Not for the construction, no, sir.
I'm talking about for the project, did you all have a committee?
Well, to begin, let's go back. The design engineers that were originally had a task order for the rehab, doing designing the rehab for these tanks. That would have gone through the A&E committee back several years ago. So that would have been done through the A&E committee, and they would have been awarded. And then after that, in between, there's some time, take some time to design, get all the information to us. And at that point, there's two things going on at the same time. The bid for the contractors going on, and then also we met with SHRAC, the Shreveport Regional Arts Council. And they did a contest. They put it out, and it was kind of a blind contest, if you will. People submitted, and there were some qualifications, like have a tie to Shreveport, live in Shreveport, or be from Shreveport. And they sent in their designs, and then the designs were reviewed by a panel, and they were kind of selected. We narrowed it down to a handful, and then at that point, then we met with those artists. And then we narrowed it down even more to the ones that were eventually selected. But that was a small portion of that part, but that had nothing to do with the contractor. We just had to give them the information they needed.
Brandon, listen to what I'm saying. Your words were, we are going to look at some paint choices for Councilwoman Bowman's tank. Councilman Green, so how did y'all pick this company? Did you select the company, or did you have a committee? How did this company come? Brandon Sneed, I believe it was a committee. It was a bid, and so they were selected. Next to them, they do all the tanks, and they were one of the bids, and they were the top choice. Councilman Green, you had a committee. Brandon Sneed, Councilman Green, what one of our committees that you have that selected this? Brandon, I can't remember, Councilman. I think it was RFS committee. Councilman Green, who? So, in your words at the meeting, you said you think it was a committee. So are you saying today that your thinking was wrong?
Yes.
There was not a committee involved in any of this?
No, sir, you're absolutely correct. I didn't understand, I guess, the question, because there's multiple parts to this, because there would have been a committee up front with the design engineers that would have gone to the A&E committee. There's, moving factors, multiple. The only other committee would have been the SHRAC and the actual artist selection. That would have been the only other committee involved in that. The paint contractor, as I said, would have been selected by a lowest
Brandon,
bid.
who is RFS committee of about 5?
I'd have to look. I don't know what You're talking about what I said before? That was when I was confused as to what was being asked.
So do you know what a RFS committee is?
Request for services. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And you said
that's
it's about 5 of them?
Usually, it depends. I mean, roughly.
Okay.
But there were the A&E committee, and then also the artist selection would have been the only 2 committees, but the contractor part was done through
The
a
artist
bid.
committee?
Mhm.
You
That was
said-
done through SHRAC.
Okay. So you don't know any of those people?
No, I do. Yes, sir. I was part of that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pick up, because I think I know
Mr.
as
Mayor,
much.
You can't pick up right now, okay? This is an infrastructure meeting.
Then I will pose my objection to your cross-examination of my director.
I'm not I'm
I
going
beg
over
your
his
pardon,
work.
sir, but you
Mr.
are.
Mayor, 1 is that you out of order. 2 is that if you don't get in order, I'm gonna ask you to quietly leave. All I'm doing is going by what I requested from your director. So if you know that I requested this, I'm not making something up, then what you should have done was said to him, make sure that you get Councilman Green what he asked for. I asked him personally, would you get this to me? I have not heard from him since then, nor did I hear from you. Now, if there's something in this is not me. This is the minutes that we took. I'm not cross-examining him. I'm going back over what he said to me. And you were in the meeting. And I can get you a copy of what he said. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you what he said. Now, if you're trying to protect something that you don't want him to make another mistake, then just say that and tell him to sit down, because he's not qualified to go back over what he said. This ain't something that I made up. This is something that comes from the meeting. It's a record. It's a public record. So when did it come to a point that we can't go back over a public record that a person said? That it rattles you so that you want to protect your. I'm not blaming him. I'm just going back over his words. Now, what I can do, if you would like, if you want me to ask you the question that I'm asking him about his statement, not me making words up, not me putting this in his mouth. This is a copy of the minutes. I can get you a copy. Would you like one?
I don't need him, sir.
So do you know this by heart?
No, sir, but I remember.
So how do
the meeting.
you just jump over here on me and take my judgment that I'm cross-examining him?
Because this is ultimately my responsibility, and I'm happy
Well,
to take
you come out here and
responsibility.
I'll ask you.
Very well.
Okay.
Councilman Green, I will look for that. I apologize. It was a large
Your mayor said don't talk.
attachment.
Hold on.
Okay.
Your mayor said don't talk to me. He's
sorry.
gonna answer the question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now you tell him what you want him to tell me, Brandon.
I'm ready to answer your questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I want Brandon to translate it to you.
I understood what you want.
Okay, so who were the committee members?
There was no committee to award the bid. It was a
Didn't say
public
bid, I said committee members. I never said anything
There
about
was
a
no
bid.
committee to order the bid, Mr. Chairman.
I
There was
didn't
a
ask
there
about
was
a
panel-
bid. You missing what I'm saying.
No,
I
sir,
ain't
I
asking
don't.
about a bid. I'm asking who were the committee members that came up with the design, with the whole thing. He said Strat. I asked him the name of the committee members.
Mr. Chairman, you can look through those minutes and you will not find that you asked for that information. I have looked through it, and you did not ask for that information. You
Well, how
asked
did
about
Terry-
the
how
award
did
of the
Terry
contract.
type this? How did Terry type this? I didn't type this.
It does, go right through it. You will not see that you ever asked about a committee to choose the design. Not once.
I asked who were the committee members.
There was no committee to award the bid. That is what you asked for.
Didn't
And
ask for a
Mr.
bid.
I disagree, sir.
Well,
And
where is
Mr.
it?
And Mr. Sneed sent you and all the other council members the information that you specifically requested because he and I went over it and I told him what to send.
You told him what to send?
Yes, sir, by
But you didn't tell
category.
him to send it to me.
You were receiving it as a member of the council. Yes, sir, it was sent to you as a member of the council.
The council didn't ask for it. I did.
And you received it, sir.
No, I didn't.
Then I hope you will check your email situation at the council office.
Watch this.
Because-
You're telling me you wish I'd check mine. He don't even have it. He's here. I asked him if he'd give it to me now. He's right there. You asked him. You his boss.
He said he could get it and he will send it to you. He will forward it to you.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir. I can answer the question about the
You can't
panel of
answer the
people who,
question.
who chose the artwork.
Okay.
Because I
good.
was on that committee.
Well, why didn't he tell? Last time he didn't even know you was on it.
No, sir.
And you was
did
sitting
not
over there.
ever ask about that particular panel.
I ain't asking
Check
about
your
a
own notes,
I
sir.
didn't ask about a particular thing now, Mr. Mayor. I asked who was on the committee. Y'all went to the design. He went to the design. I never brought up design.
Yes, sir. That's right. You never brought up design.
said
That's why you
committee.
didn't ask for that
So
information.
last time when I asked the question, if you knew you was on the committee, why didn't you sitting right over there drinking water? Why you didn't just say, I was one of the committee members? Why didn't you help him out
Because
then?
that's not the committee that you asked about, sir.
I don't know the name of any of them. I
You
said
did
committee.
not ask that question, sir.
Do what now?
You did not ask that question.
I asked for committee members.
And there was no committee. You asked for who awarded the contract. Yes, you did. Read your own notes, Mr.
I asked
Chairman.
about the contract, but I also asked about who were the committee members. Ask any member of this council, they'll tell you.
There
I
was no
asked who-
committee with respect to the award of the
You
contract.
just said
which is
you
what
was a
asked.
committee member.
No, sir. I said I was on the panel of people that chose the artwork, which you never asked about.
I asked about a committee.
And there was not one.
You just said you was one of them.
I was on the panel of people who helped to select the artwork.
Who were the
Had
other
nothing
members,
to do with the
Mr. Mayor,
contract.
who were the other ones?
The other people were William Daniel, Mr. Sneed, myself, Rebecca Bonnevier, Pam Atchison, Drayden Dunn, Chris Erickson, and my wife.
Okay. Mr. Sneed said last time he wasn't even aware. He wasn't a part of it. He said he was not involved in it then. He said that was before his time. You were sitting right there, Mr. Mayor. You could have put a lid on this then by just stating what you saying down there. You could have told us right over there. Brandon said, look, I can't remember, I was not a part of that.
With
That's what he
respect-
said.
With respect, sir, I doubt that I would have put a lid on it.
If you had said it right there,
No,
what
sir.
you saying now, you putting a
I
lid
just
on it
disagree
now.
based on your demeanor and your questioning today.
So
That
now
would
you're being
not
a
have been the
psychologist.
case.
Mr. Chair, I don't think we're getting anywhere.
Well, you tell the mayor.
I'm not telling the mayor. I respect the mayor, and I respect you as a chair. but
Okay.
I don't think we're
The
not
mayor
talking-
asked to
I
come
understand
down.
it. I understand it.
So
Mr.
why
Chair.
you protecting? He want to be
Now,
right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's be.
Mr. Mayor, listen.
Let's be diplomats about this.
Okay, let's be diplomat. The
I
mayor
think we-
asked to come here.
I understand that.
Okay,
I
so let me
understand that.
finish what I got to ask him. He volunteered. Mr. Mayor, thank you for volunteer. That's all I need.
Thank you very much.
All
Thank you,
right.
Mr. Chair.
Any other questions? At this time, we'll have the state of the police substations and main police station expenditures and temporary office lease.
Okay, I'll try to answer those as best I can.
Okay,
The station on North Market is well on its way. I think the projected completion date, last I heard, was toward the 1st of March next year. They took bids last week on the one in the Cedar Grove Park, got good bids. That contract will go through the regular routing process and be awarded sometime in the next couple of months, and I think it would be reasonable to assume that sometime about this time next year, if not a little sooner, depending on how the construction goes, that station will be finished. Occupancy will occur in the temporary substation on Kingston Road, sometime in the next month. I believe the little bit of construction we had to do is done there, or is about to be done there. We'll be scheduling moving there. What that will leave, once that happens, I think we also now have a date I saw this morning for moving of the automated fingerprint, AFIS stuff. That appears to be something that will happen quite shortly. And what that will leave is, I think, the chief's office and not a whole lot else in the building on Texas Avenue. Shelley, you might want to help me here, but that's the way I perceive it. You can come with her, come on. But I know we were down to the two groups that will be going initially to Kingston Road, the chief's office, and some of the people who kind of work and support with him, plus the APHIS folks. And I think I saw from Bruce a date on moving that equipment, which is shortly.
APHIS is moving in this week.
Yeah, they're moving this week, so that would be
So that'll,
Sorry, who was that?
APHIS,
the
is-
APHIS machine.
APHIS?
the state's coming to do that, which has been the holdup on some of the moves. It's waiting on them. And then Kingston, they're scheduling that date to move to Kingston Road. Some renovations that we did there are complete. And then, yes, you're right, I'll leave administration. But there's some penciled in dates that went out this morning, trying to figure out when the best time to move the chief's administrative office. But we should be totally out of that building. Some of the specialized units that we moved, they have moved completely out. So that was a big move. That's one that we talked about offline. And we had talked about during some time, maybe taking some of you out there to see that facility one-on-one or two-on-two so that y'all could see where they moved to. That's some specialized units.
I think the question that several people have asked is, at approximately what date will we have completely emptied the building? And I'm guessing end of September. I didn't read the email this morning, but that's my appreciation. At the end of September, they should all be out.
South Point's ready. It's ready for everyone.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
please. So refresh my memory. What areas, who was working out of Kingston Road?
My understanding is that's going to be Area 2 and Area 4.
And how did, and how
You may
did,
be headed for a chief question, I can tell.
oh, yeah, maybe a
But
chief question.
You might have to
Okay,
ask him in a
so
little while.
areas 2 and 4 are moving out of working out of Kingston?
There is still some discussion about possibly trying to find a temporary location for Area 2,
Yeah, I'd kind of like
but
that.
it has been quite difficult. And at this point, it's getting late in the game to try to, we've not found one yet. Councilman Brooks gave me one yesterday to look at, and I need to call that gentleman, depending on how long y'all are this afternoon, I'll be able to do that. But we are still, what we were trying to do is find someplace where we did not have to do much, if anything, because now you're talking about no more than a year from right now that they would be in the Kingston Road location before the one in Cedar Grove would be ready. So, if we have to spend 2 or 3 months trying to put one together, then we start making it a little less attractive. But we are still looking at the possibility of moving Area 2. I know you and Councilman Brooks are both interested in that.
And if I may, what's the current lease agreement? I mean, what's the current dollar amount that we're going to be paying for Kingston?
I believe it's $9,100 a month, and we have a 3-year lease on Kingston because it is essentially because Area 4 does not have its own permanent funded substation. So we have the ability to lease that one for longer if that's what we end up doing. I mean, it's possible there may be money found some way at some point for a 4th station, but right now there isn't any. And so Area 4's got a longer potential lease than some of the others.
And David, do we know how many total people will be operating out of Kingston?
The chief did send me here
Yeah,
answer a few questions that I do know.
Come on.
yeah, if you have.
Kelly and I'd be
area-
happy to.
Yeah, if you have Area 2 and Area 4, what are we actually looking at it for, as far as personnel actually going to be required to man the station? And will that be a actual sub where the vehicles will be parked there, rotated out, and so forth?
Okay, so a couple parts to your question. I'll try to take them as
It's
they
all
come
good.
in. So in reference to Kingston Road, we did look at a lot of locations in reference to Area 2 going and being in Area 2. And we kind of struck out on a lot of things. There's a lot of ADA compliance handicap things related to restrooms for folks to be able to come into actually the substation and conduct business. So far, we've kind of, like Mr. Dark said, we've struck out as far as that, but we are open to anybody's ideas of where something that we might be able to lease or use for that. Kingston Road is completed for the construction side of walls and things. They're working on putting the carpet in and the infrastructure. What takes a little bit of time is technical stuff, which is the IT and things to get internet going, firewalls, things like that, because the police deals with sensitive information. But to answer to your question on the personnel, you're probably going to have somewhere in the range of 45, 50 officers plus supervisors. So you would take like the 4 areas of town. I know Mr. Taylor and Mr. Green were out there at West Sub. We put 2 and 4 right now, just the officers working out of it to try to get them out of the main hub police station, as many people as we can. So West has actually been utilizing a couple of area 4 and 3 to kind of get them out of the main police station. So 4 command staff is still there at the station along with area 2. Area 2 officers are still at the main police station. Kingston will accommodate getting those officers out of that building in the condition it's in and getting them to Kingston. So they'll operate kind of like 4 and 2 or 4 and 3 were at Monkhouse, and they'll put 2 and 4 at Kingston Road. The facility's plenty to be able to handle the staff. So you'll have a commander, which will be an ACP over the east side that will be housed there along with his secretaries. Then you'll have the Area 2 commander, which is a captain, his XO, which is lieutenant. All the command staff for all shifts, lieutenants and sergeants, they have their own office there. They share it, but it's different shifts. And then all their officer corporals that patrol will be there, staffed out of there as far as a hub for paperwork, but it'd be no different than being at the station and they go back out to the beat and they should be in their beat patrolling, not hanging out at the station, regardless of where it is. The station now is currently in 1, but they leave 1 as 2 and they go back to 2. So it'd be the same kind of idea that they're going to be patrolling in the area. And when they swap shifts, it's a 2-hour difference. So we're not going to not have anybody in area 2 when they're swapping. So area 2 and 4 will share Kingston Road until either we can find another location or 2 is ready, which would be, from what Mr. Dark said, that contract's been awarded, should be this time, sometime this next year, of them being able to get in a different home. And then that wouldn't be making sense to try to make something usable and workable for a short period of time when they're going to be going in a new place.
Understand.
Does that answer?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And to add to that a little bit, the good news about the Kingston Road site is that, unlike some of the other places we've looked at, it actually has enough parking for both groups to be there at one time, because they have a very large parking area that even on Sunday, they have a lot of extra. So we've got some room there, and that's helpful.
It's very user-friendly for Area 2 and Area 4. Patrons are people just like they would come to the main substation and come in there for a safe exchange to be able to do their items that they purchase, or having a kid exchange. We'll have that as well. It'll be camera, audio and video monitored. Also, they can come there and, any complaints or issues that they have, and that staff will be readily available to them there at the front. So it will be staffed. You asked about the staff. There will be staffed with a desk sergeant there for each area. So if there's a problem, somebody comes from any side of town, no matter if it's not a 4 or 2 thing, there'll be somebody there to be able to either point them in the right direction or get them some services.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Shelley, go ahead. Go ahead.
Officer, did you just say that Area 2 would be that Kingston Road would be user-friendly to Area 2?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Did you use the term user-friendly for Area 2 for Kingston Road?
User-friendly?
Is that what you said just then?
Yeah, so the safe exchange, I said user-friendly as in they'll be able to walk up and go into the patrol desk.
But not user-friendly to drive out there?
Yes, sir. It wouldn't be like, yes, sir, I understand what you're saying. It's going to be a distance from Area 2.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Just like the police station, if somebody comes from District 6 and they're driving from District 6 to the main police station where 2 is right now to contact staff, it'll probably be about the same drive for them going to Kingston Road.
I thought, and we may have to go back and look, I thought all 7 of us agreed that Kingston Road was too far west for Area 2. But it seems like we just keep moving forward with it, Mr. Dark, like you just ignored us.
Mr. Brooks, if I not to
Go
step
ahead.
up, I'm just trying to, I'm kind of in the building thing of all the different substations. nobody wanted to put 2 there, and that was the instructions that we had, that 2 was not needed to go to Kingston Road. But we've got to get them out of that building, and for leaving them in the building when we're trying to demo it and get it ready, from the officer side of things, not that that's a key thing to go to Area 2, or to go to Kingston Road, but to get to that facility where the bathrooms are good, the location's good, the facilities are more comparable for them to be able to operate out of, for a temporary fix. They would appreciate that from being at the original police station. So it's a 4 location, not a 2 location, but 2 is gonna use the piggyback until their new building's ready, or until we find a secondary. And I don't know if I'm speaking out, but I'm just trying to be real with y'all as far as information on the ground.
Councilman Brooks, I was in full agreement with you when we were talking about Area 2, because the distance for that is too long. And I know that you weren't here, but we distinctly expressed this to the administration, that it was too far a drive for officers in Area 2 to be out at that particular location. It's not good because of the crime incidents and the stats that we're seeing in this area right now. And so I don't know what priority, not you all, that the administration placed on actually trying to really find somewhere in Area 2 for those officers to be. That was highly stressed. And so I don't believe at any point, and I don't recall me ever saying, I want the officers way out of way, so when they get ready to make the call, you jump on 2 interstates in order to turn around and get to where it's needed off of Piermont, wherever it's needed in Holland, and those. It's logistically, it's just not a good thing.
And I agree with you, Councilwoman, that the district should be in the area. And I've been on many field trips with the administration and myself outside of my scope of work to look for a suitable place. And each time we were finding it, either the expense that they wanted for what we were trying to do, or us having to pay money to rehab it. And like I said, I'm not in the financial part, I'm just in trying to look out for the officers that are patrolling the beat, taking care of the citizens. So I remember that conversation, I was in that meeting when it happened, and I'm in agreement too. I mean, I think that that's the reason we had the sub, but there's a difference between what we can find that's suitable for what we need to use and what's actually available to us. So, but I've been on many field trips with the chief to look for a suitable spot, and he did take that into account and said that on multiple times, that 2 was not acceptable to be in an area that wasn't 2, but we had to find something. And we've been continuously on the look, asking for citizens, asking for members of the community to say, hey, where would it be a spot that we could actually use and put 2 in there? So he, in my opinion, and I don't have any reason to lie to this council, is that he's actually tried to do that, and so hasn't the administration, in trying to get to another location so that they are actually in the location that's they're patrolling.
Councilman Brooks, what did you look at for Area 2?
A spot in Shreve City.
And that was a thought process for me as well, where you can just branch out right there. We couldn't find anything in Shreve City, Mr. Dark?
We did. I don't think Mr. Dark has called about it yet.
Hold on, just.
Councilman
a
Brooks
point of-
gave me a phone number yesterday.
A point of order, Mr. Dark, hold on
sorry.
just a minute, so that we won't be under the impression that we are cross-examining you all. Mr. Mayor, would you like to chime in on what Mr. Brooks has asked about the administration doing what he's asked to do?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Dark will have more information about that than I do.
Councilman Brooks gave me a phone number for a business owner yesterday. I have not had the opportunity to call today. As I said, if we get out early enough today, I'll call that gentleman, try to see if I can get out or send someone from police out to look at it and see what we got. But the goal so far has been to get everybody out by October 1st.
The goal has been to get everybody out into proper locations, because we have stressed that over and over and over again. That has been the immediate goal that we had when we talked about moving these individuals, because it was long overdue. But when it comes to Area 2, that was one thing that we distinctly talked about, was the location and the proximity, because it's a disadvantage for the residents who live in that area.
Okay? We will continue to try. I am not going to guarantee you we're going to succeed.
We're not going to guarantee you that you're going to have our officers way out of the way to go over here and make a call either, Mr. Dark.
Frankly, they
Public
should
safety
never be
is
in
the-
that station.
Listen, the thing of it is that if you guys would have moved on to the stations, then they wouldn't have been out here to begin with, but it wasn't a priority. at this particular point in time. So I understand that you all get rattled, but we get rattled too because we get the phone calls about police presence and where police are and the proximity in it. I happen to agree with Councilman Brooks, just like he did in my district. When it comes to that, then those things have to be a priority. It's not a priority if you don't live in the city.
The honest truth is, it's very seldom that they should be there at all.
And
It is
if
a
they have to
gathering
go
point.
to a location, it needs to be a centralized location as to where they need to be. That's the whole purpose of doing that. Come on, y'all, we can't argue that.
We're not going to argue with it. We simply try to say we have tried to look. We have not had any luck yet. We will continue to look. If we find something in the next 30 to 90 days, we have a chance to move them. But if we don't find something fairly quickly that doesn't require a lot of work and that the owner is reasonable and that meets all the ADA stuff and has the bathrooms and all the things that, we wouldn't have to have if we weren't government and everything else, we're trying to find a place, but mostly what we're trying to do is get him out.
Let me apologize, Councilman Brooks, because that's your area. I'll say, let me apologize, because that's your area. I shouldn't take that leap just like that. Let me apologize.
It's partially mine, a good bit of mine is west. It's all of Councilman Talafero's.
Let me apologize to you.
No apology
So
necessary.
I just, I do not remember all of us, I thought stressing that Kingston Road was too far west. I get that we have to get out of 1234 Texas. I guess what I'm questioning is how hard did we actually look in Area 2? Because I found this spot in one day. So perhaps you can call and you and the chief can go look at this spot and we'll see if it'll work.
We will try.
Thank
to do
you.
our best. Okay. You all also asked, and I think, at least in your agenda notes, you asked kind of what does all this cost? We have probably committed just for this year, some number fairly close to $1 million, counting rent and counting all the renovations that we have done and all the IT work and all that. I don't have the exact number, and I will get it for you. I've got a public records request. I've got to find that information for this week anyway, and I will share the answer with you. But I know we put an extra, I don't know, about $600,000 maybe in the police budget just for rent this year. And between Shelley and police and IT, it's probably getting close to $1 million, and that does not count the work at Wildwood or the work at Traffic. Some of that SPAR is eaten, some of that police is eaten, and a little bit of it the project's paid for. But you asked for that, so I wanted to provide it to you.
Mr. Chair, just one wrap up. I do appreciate the effort that the administration has put forth in relocating our officers. I know it's a daunting task, and I appreciate everybody that's been involved in that. I know that a lot of our time was taken up, and rightfully so, on looking for the temporary home for Area 2, and some of those locations apparently didn't work out and just wasn't to our benefit. And so therefore, I do appreciate anything that we can do to try to find an adequate location within Area 2 itself. I understand more than most is that our officers are not hovering, in a brick and mortar. They are on the street, and they do overlap in coverages and so forth. But as far as Councilman Brooks said, that we want to make it as easy as possible and in a good location for our citizens to actually be able to, do whatever business they need to do, in an area substation. So I do appreciate the effort. I encourage you to continue to look for that sweet spot in Area 2, and, we'll see where that takes us. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We're at item C, projected date for full officers relocation from old police station. Shelley, Mr. Dark, whichever one.
I think we sort of just answered that. And said
You said October.
approximately, if we don't, well.
Just
if we
wanted to
can-
make sure that you said October.
October 1st is the hope. That is actually contingent on not moving Area 2 someplace else, because they might have to go to 4 short-term to get them out of there. We're trying to get them out about the time the bids are taken, so that, people will have access to it that are trying to bid and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make one thing, thank you, Mr. Chair, is that it is possible that while we're working on an Area 2 sweet spot location, that Area 2, Area 4 can coexist in the Kingston building without, I mean,
Yes.
yeah, without any kind of interruption, so to speak, and then we can move them later. Is that what I'm hearing? I mean, I think that's, I think David eloquently put it, that, you know, the infrastructure remains the same, whether it's Area 3, Area 4, Area 1, Area 2. So it's just a physically moving of the officers from Kingston to another location. Physically, that's about it, right, David? And Ms.
Yeah.
Reagan? No, that's okay. I mean, it's just, I'm just making it clear that
You're
it's
the one
just a
carrying the
physical
weapon. I think we'll let
relocation.
you talk.
It would be like taking your office and saying, okay, I need you to go work over here, and then you pick people up and you move them there, and they get used to coming to work to a different location, getting different vehicles, knowing their atmosphere, knowing how the computers work, everything, and then going, okay, guys, we want you over here, and picking you up, and sticking you over there, and then you get a new building. So in a year, if we're gonna get a new building, I understand from the atmosphere of getting in that district, if Kingston can establish the 2 and 4, and we can find a kiosk or something that can do that for 2, but the infrastructure part of the firewall and all the Tyler system and all the stuff that goes into the how long it takes to get the technology to work so that you can actually utilize it, so the officers are not frustrated with the system and can actually get good services. I think the move to Kingston, even though it's moving there, is that's going to be a good operation. It's not like a stepchild in the sense that there's no office space or there's no place for people to come. It's going to operate just like Mr. Green has seen in West, where people come in there and they're not treated different because of a different area. They're all citizens. We treat them the same. So it won't be a one person. Everybody has a section in there. And I've got a drawing of it that I could provide if y'all wanted to see that, of actually what those offices look like, so you can see what that is.
And also, while you're there, David, also like to say, I was there with an on-hands operation. That lady comes off the street, she was distressed, whatever. Your officers was on it just like that, carried her to the side, carried her to the back, talked her way out of it, and you all handled it right there on the spot.
Yes, sir, because
And
it
then-
doesn't matter what area of town. It doesn't matter if it's any one of y'all's districts. They're still a citizen of Shreveport, and they need to be treated.
And then
exactly right.
sometimes I'll be sitting out there and y'all don't know I'm out there, and people just drive up and come in and you all greet them and they come on out with a smile on their face.
Yes, sir.
And say what a great job. So you all doing a great job over
We
there.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Of course, Mr. Dark know I'll be over there because he got me on camera. He be watching me.
I didn't know you knew that.
We had item D. Shelley, you can have a seat. We had item D, 2024 bond program update, street funding, number of designs completed, date issued, and upcoming design release. I think, Mr. Dark, you could, oh, David, you got that? Okay.
Yeah, good
All right.
afternoon.
So let's
Honorable-
walk through the 2024 bond program update.
Yes, sir. David Smith, City of Shreveport, City Engineer. Good afternoon, honorable members of council, Mayor, Mr. Dork and staff. As you're aware, we hired a program manager. I'd like to introduce them today. You know Mr. Chris Erickson, he's the director. And I've got Mr. Marcus Bonton with Bonton's Associates. He's acting as our program manager, and he's got a brief summary for you.
All right, good afternoon, committee members. As David mentioned, I'm Marcus Bonton. I serve as the program delivery lead for Renew Shreveport. And my overall role is to, one, provide oversight to the day-to-day operations of our program, but also ensuring that all of our projects are being delivered on time and on budget. And so I'll be providing updates to this committee as well as the council, and also here to answer any questions that you guys may have moving forward. And so where we stand with the projects as of today, so Renew has 33 projects that are currently in flight. They all sort of fall in three primary categories, the first being in design. And so we currently have 26 projects that are in design, kind of all at various stages. The first being several projects that kind of are in the early stages of design. And then we also have a group of projects that are kind of at the 90 to the 100% stage. And so we're preparing those for construction soon. An example of that is the Curtis Lane and Lakeshore Drive Drive project. We're delivering that as one package. And we're currently routing that project into advertisement. Second is the Stoner Avenue project. The design is complete and we're actually opening bids today. So that one is actually moving forward into construction as well. The Wallace Lake and Flournoy Lucas project, that design is in the 100%. It's complete, and they were actually requiring property for widening at that intersection. There's actually some additional projects that are kind of in that design to construction phase as well. And so we have Pines Road, that's at 100%, and we'll soon to be routing that into advertisement. We actually have one project that is actually in construction. That's the Stratmore Drive project. And so that'll be our first project that is going into construction. And sort of the first opportunity for us to show sort of visibility out into the city. And then we have 6 projects that we're currently planning to execute in that next wave of projects once we get the next bond sold. And so that includes the Canal Boulevard, Financial Plaza, Valley View, Jewella Avenue, the Brush Bayou ditch improvements, and then there's also some traffic signal installations that we're doing across the city. Other projects to mention, we have the Monkhouse Drive project. That one is also in design. It's actually being reviewed by the mayor's office right now. There's 3 alternatives that are being considered. And then lastly, the Linwood Bridge project, which is in early stages of design as well. But all of the rail entities have been contacted, and so we're just engaging them to get their feedback on how we plan to move forward with design.
Before you get too far, Councilwoman Bowman has a
Right.
question.
Thank you, Mr. Bonton, for the update. I didn't hear you mention the Curtis Lane and Lakeshore.
Yes,
Is that design completed?
yes, it is.
It is completed. Do you have a projection start date on that?
I would say within the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, I got one more question. When we go through this design phase, if we're updating a street or we're resurfacing a street, if we're not adding sidewalks or adding anything different, why is another design needed?
I'm sorry, sis.
Okay, so if we have a project and the design hasn't changed, it's no sidewalks, it's nothing added additional. Why is a new design needed if nothing additional is added?
Well, in most cases, so for the majority of the roads where we're planning to do a reconstruction type improvement, and so that's full depth type of construction.
Okay,
In some cases, we are considering sidewalk improvements just as where needed. And so it's a lot more in-depth in terms of design. We're asking our designers to put together a full set of plans based off of that type of
right. And I can
construction work.
understand the design project having to be designed by engineer if we're changing, adding sidewalks, adding lighting. But if it's the same design, it's like you sit and you wait and then you look at it, it's the same actual design that was there, if that makes sense. So that was one of my questions, because the design phase seems to be what's taking the longest for us to get from point 1 to 2.
Sure. And we've made that clear to our designers that we trying to want to expedite the design process.
Okay,
And so we've been coordinating with them as much as we can to say, like, this is a priority, and we're trying to expedite that as quickly as we can.
okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
So, on to what Councilwoman Bowman has said. You said the design was completed, right? But it'll take anywhere from 3 to 6 months before actual work start. Why is that?
For Curtis Lane?
Yes.
Yes, so there is the bid and award process. And so that typically takes around three months to kind of get all that stuff in place and then on to construction.
Okay, say for an instance with the Monk House, last meeting I was in, we were talking about designing it and all that. And of course, on the phone, of course, David, you can chime in. They said it'll be sometime next year before the work actually start. So has any change on that, David, or tell me, I'm confused as, I guess most people are. You say the design, but then once the design, and it's still gonna take 3 or 6 months or even longer to actually see some work done.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Right, so,
okay.
yeah, so typically, like, yeah, you'll have your design phase, which, depending on the complexity of the project, it'll take, anywhere between 6 to 9 months to put together a project. In this case, we're anticipating a lot less because of the type of work we're doing, it's rehab. But once that's done, there's the bid and award phase, which typically takes a couple of months to complete, and then from there, it's on to construction.
Do y'all ever use AI?
AI, as much as we can. But
David,
Okay.
tell me
Oh,
about,
okay.
tell me about Monkhouse.
Yes, sir. So Monkhouse, as you're likely aware, we've got the 30% conceptual design. Before we start to say exactly what kind of concrete, brush, trees, whatever it may be, we wanted to get a plan before all of you through the mayor's office of the concept. How many lanes? Do we want to keep all 4 lanes? Do we want to minimize that to add additional right of way? Because we seek to beautify it, and that comes with a good bit of greenery, some barriers, and of course safety with pedestrian traffic. We want that place to be easily walked. We want to make it a vibrant area. So we took the first steps of doing conceptual design to give you some options on what we want to see. As soon as we give the go-ahead to the designer on which of those 3 options we want, they're going to start laying things out. They're going to start counting people, counting traffic, and developing the layout for the entire corridor. Once they get that, we do a 60, 90, and 100% plans where they send those in. Different folks give their reviews and comments to try to make the set of plans the best they can. So there's some time that goes back and forth with that. But then we get to actually advertising, and with the city's system, it usually takes 3 to 4 months from getting it on its way to purchasing, advertising for bids, contracts, POs, and then issuing for construction. So it's just some built-in time there. And the mayor's office asked us in the past, this year, we looked at how we could speed all those things up, and we've taken certain actions to get there faster. So bonds were sold last November. It's August now, and we have projects that are hitting the street and going to construction. So in our honest opinion, that we're moving quickly. We'll try to keep the gas on and keep moving. But
Councilwoman Taylor has a question.
yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me where we are with Audrey Lane?
Yes, ma'am. Audrey Lane, I want to say we're 60% construction completed. We finally got David Rains complete. We've got the intersection at Round Grove and Audrey Lane complete. The contractor proposed some changes in the way they construct it to do shorter sections. We admonished them on that, and they are moving fairly quickly. Well, they've sped up here now, so we're on schedule, but we still have several months left. I don't want to tell you exactly. I think we're going to be finished maybe second quarter of next year, by summer of next year.
So where are we with the drainage?
I'm sorry.
Where are we with the drainage?
The drainage is mostly installed. If I recall, the piping is in the ground, and so they're going to start putting everything back on top of that.
And so how is it that you all determine which streets are going to be done? Do you use the computer system or the streets that were allocated in the bond issue to determine what streets get selected first? Do you take it for resurfacing or the ones that need a total overhaul? How do you all choose that?
Do you mean general capital improvements, which streets we
Yes.
select?
Yes.
Several factors, one being severity. You mentioned exposition this morning. Things like that we like to get to more quickly. There are impacts. We also look at how much traffic is on it, how many people live on it, and the true benefit to the neighborhood. We try to get areas, group streets and areas that we can do all together to make better packages for the designers. So there's several criteria, but certainly one of them is how many requests, how many complaints we get in. That's a box that I check on our list of projects and try to prioritize those.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And where are we on Crosby Street with the overlay?
Sir, that is advertising right now. I believe bids come in the next couple of weeks. We receive good bids, within budget on that, and we'll look to go to construction around the first of the year. Crosby and Singletary are in the same package.
Councilwoman Bowman.
We have a project in progress on Bocage, Santa Monica. Do you have a completion date for that?
Yes, ma'am. Bocage and Sun Haven, the original project is about 90% complete. I believe they're working on Bocage Circle right now.
Yes.
We did see a few panels, concrete road. We saw several panels down the street that, to make it a more complete project, we're going to go out and get. So I want to say we'll be complete in about a month or so, and then start closing out and making sure everything's buttoned up.
Okay, it looks very good, and the residents in that area are very pleased with it, so thank you again.
No problem.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I may, thank you. Thanks for the update. I would appreciate that update to be sent to me, whatever format you put it in. I think each council member deserves to see exactly what projects they have.
Sure.
What the phase is, what the completion is, and so forth and so on. That way, I, for one, can answer questions from my constituents on,
Sure.
hey, what's the delay? Hey,
Yes.
what's the time frame, and so forth. It's just kind of being good stewards of information. so
Sure,
we pass it
absolutely.
along.
Absolutely.
And also, who's the design team, and who do they work for?
So the design consultants that we have on staff to work with the program?
Yeah, are they working on just our stuff, or are they working on everybody else's stuff and we're just in the mix?
Correct.
So they're working on primarily the Renew Shreveport program.
So what's the percentage of them? What's the percentage? I mean, I know that I just want to make sure we're at the front of the pack,
Sure.
because, I mean, and I'm sure that everybody else wants to be at the front, but if we're hiring people to do design work, and I'm not the designer, I don't know much about it, but I'd like their time to be focused on our stuff and till we get it done.
Absolutely,
No
yes,
more
sir.
than anybody else.
So as you know, we've got, we go through A&E committee, and one of the criteria there is workload, and it's generally how much work are you already doing. Fortunately, for the designers, business is good right now. Everybody is working and seem to have, a part of the pie, but we focus on our projects. We push them to keep to their schedule that they give to us on task order, and we press them to keep those schedules. So despite who they're working for, we believe we're the most important, so we try to keep that line of thinking for them.
Right.
And they all or most respond fairly well and keep to those schedules. There are some things, and I know Councilman Southfield is over in your district. And
My next question, yes.
we did have a small delay with lighting. I was speaking to the community on the type of street lighting they wanted, and a little bit back and forth there. That's wrapped up. We look to have that project back in our hands, 100%, and routing for advertisement in September.
So design phase is over?
Mostly, yeah. So they with the latest changes in the lighting, we did change the type of light, so they had to readjust where those exactly were. But when they're done with that, it's 100% complete.
And just refresh my memory that the project will go from,
It'll go from Camellia Avenue all the way east to Gilbert. So basically,
Okay.
pick up where the
right.
concrete ends now, coming from Line Avenue. Concrete ends, I believe, around Camellia Avenue. We're taking there all the way to Gilbert.
Thank
New curb and gutter, drainage, and everything.
right,
And lighting.
all right, thank you, appreciate it. Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman
thank you.
Tate, thank you.
David, can you tell me where we are on the lights on Cross Lake Bridge?
Lights on Cross Lake Bridge, yes, ma'am. There's something that went down. We believe there was a short in the system. The contractor submitted his, because they were gonna have to close down a lane to work out there, we submitted it to DOTD. I can't say for sure if DOTD has approved. I think they did in the past week, approved the traffic plan. So they should be out there, if not this week, next, fixing the issue and getting those back up. So we believe there's one main short in the system, and they're going to be fixing that under warranty, no cost to us. It's just a matter of getting the traffic control in place. So,
Are we moving on other lighting projects within the city?
yes, ma'am, we've got several, North Hearn and North Market, I believe is advertising right now.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry, that one's been bidded, and we're moving ahead to construction. Shreveport, the Shreveport lighting of that industrial park is complete. We are going back and adding cameras that we can connect to the SPD system. So we've added those in on the back end, and we're installing those, but the lighting's up. There are a few other, Greenwood Road Extension, the new Resilient Park out west side of town. That has been bid, and we are putting lights out there. And then there are the intermediate, the add 1 or 2 lights here and there. I need to get an update from Swebco. We've got several that we've submitted to them to install, and I'll have to get back with you on an update for those.
would you please send that to us as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, a number of designs completed. Did you?
Yeah.
How many designs did you say were completed?
I believe we've got about 6 of them that are at.
How many?
6
6.
out of the 26 that are in design that
Okay.
have begun.
And,
But I will get you a precise, that's off the top of my head.
okay, and Councilwoman Bowman has.
Yeah,
a
this is
question.
my last question, I apologize. On all of the streets that we had during the previous administration, have all of those been completed?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Everything that we had at the beginning of this year, everything that was on the books for design has been constructed.
Okay,
Everything new is 2024 capital improvements and then bond improvements.
thank you.
Okay, and what are the upcoming designs to be released?
Oh, yeah, so we have the fairgrounds entrance, the neighborhood drainage, and then I-20 LED lighting that are coming up.
So when will y'all start on the fairground entrance? You meaning off of Juella? Which,
That's the, go ahead,
It's
I'm
off
sorry.
of Hearn.
Hearn, yeah.
Off of
I mean,
Hearn,
Hearn, yeah,
we're-
okay,
we're-
Hearn.
we're
What about
looking at
off of
those
Juella?
entrances.
What about the end off of Juella?
Well, that'll be a part, so what we're gonna do is we're starting off with a preliminary design and have a designer look at the options of what we could best improve, kind of like Monkhouse, give us some conceptual ideas, and then attack what gives us the most benefit. So those 3 he mentioned will be coming up at the A&E committee on October 3rd, I believe, and then approximately 3 months after that, we will initiate design.
Okay.
Mr. David, when you get ready to work on that design, will you let me know what's going on? Because just being there yesterday, that Juella part is kind of bad. When you enter from Juella going into Independence Stadium, that area needs a little something.
Okay. Do you know which specific road? Because I know Fair Street, which is one of the several entrances, a piece of that is in bond, in the bond projects, and then we're gonna do the second part of that in Capitol.
Okay.
That street will be completed just as a street improvement for the fairgrounds access. Like I said, we'll have them look at the different accesses and see what we can improve on the way it's constructed, the way it's laid out. I'll look, if you have any specific streets though, we can look to get those on the capital improvement.
Okay, I'll contact you because I'm not sure the name of that street when you first come in off of Juella, but it definitely needs some attention.
Okay? And
Okay?
with some of what we're doing fairgrounds access is try to point out some of the other improvements, whether in that design, in that concept, preliminary phase, look at what we can improve to make the whole area more accessible.
Thank you.
All right, we're at item E, remaining bond fund overview, Mr. Dark.
We can do a couple of things. Mr. Erickson's here. He can give you a little update on the water and sewer stuff. So Chris, you might want
Okay.
to do first, see how much time we got.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Just to kind of update you on, I'll start with the water projects. We have about $20 million in bond projects for the water plant themselves. Probably about 10 million of that, depending on the bid pricing, but 10 million of that will have starting construction next summer. That'll be for a replacement water line in the property of the water plant. It's very delicate. It's a deep line, and it's going to be very delicate. As you know, it's a 100-year-old plant, so there's a lot of lines in the way. So that the dual 24s, that's going to be a big one. And then putting in a new intake. We should have the design done by the end of this year, and then advertising, and anticipate having that in construction by next summer as well. Valve replacement is ongoing. We don't have any, we're still locating which valves to replace, and then we're still working on what to do with the high-low building, which is the historic building on site. The water tower, I'm sure you all are very interested in. We are working with a water modeler. We're trying to finish the water model right now. McKim & Creed has been on site around Shreveport doing some testing on hydrants to make sure that what the computer says is actually happening in the field. Once we do that, then we can know, okay, if we put 1 million, 2 million gallons of elevated storage out, how is that going to benefit the citizens and the customers? So that still has a little bit of work to do before we have that. However, you know, as Brandon mentioned, the port tank, we should have that online by the end of the year. The changes that we're making there should benefit Southeast Shreveport. That's kind of the design that we've done. We're kind of separating them out so everybody in the port has a nice stable, all those customers have a nice stable pressure, and then it's not sucking all the water down from Southeast Shreveport. Sewer projects that we have, we're going to have about $4.5 million. It's advertising right now about 10 different lift stations. I'm happy to provide you those, but you'll see those here shortly. And then another $4.5 million on 6, those are a little bit larger lift stations. They're going to be bid by the end of the year. So we're pretty much going to have $9 million, which is what was in the bond, in construction starting next year. So, you know, that for the consent decree, that's been a large part of why we've seen some overflows. It's because of some of the upgrades that need to happen on the lift stations. Southern Hills, we've been doing a lot of work on Kingston Road. That's been happening over the last year. And we're continuing to work on all the different legs, the leg that goes out towards GE and the leg that goes up to the northeast as well, to try and fix that from being an issue long term. And then we've got a couple of generators we need to have the A&E committee select those, and then we'll get designing on at least 2 of the generators. The one in Cedar Grove. Cedar Grove requires a good bit of work, the lift station there and the force main. We want to make sure all of that's all coordinated, so we're not designing something and have to turn around and either move it, which you don't want to do, or it won't work for the new design. So, you know, we want to make sure all of that's coordinated, and we'll get started on that in the next couple of years. And then Corby's lift station, it's one of the larger stations in town. We're doing a lot of flow monitoring there, so there's a lot of ongoing work on that one. So I don't have a date on because we need to select what we're going to do, and a lot of that depends on the results of the flow monitoring. So, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Okay. Any questions?
Mr.
Appreciate
Chairman,
the update.
could I add one thing to what he said?
Yes.
If I could. One of the things that we are trying to do with the work that Burns and McDonnell is doing with us is to try to identify, particularly on all the neighborhood streets, where we have potential water main or sewer main conflicts, so that we don't make the terrible mistake of paving it and making it look nice, and then water comes back and tears it up. We've got some conflicts identified that we're going to be trying to work our way through. So one of the things you may ask on, how do things get picked now, as far as which bond issue street project, the ones that don't have conflicts are likely to pop up more quickly than the ones that do. And we'll try to keep you updated as to which ones are which, once we kind of get a better idea.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some regulatory issues. You know, lead lines need to be replaced. And then there's going to be consent decree things that are going to happen on some of these bad sewers. So the clean water program, of course, Burns and Mack is the program manager for both. And of course, I'm mostly on the water and sewer, but I'm also working directly with David and Marcus on the streets, because we want to make sure that once we pave, we're done, we're out. And that's going to be the best thing for the citizens. You know, we don't want to have it paved and then come back, you know, within the time frame of some of these regulatory things and be tearing it back up. So we've done a lot of coordination on that. And I think we've got some ones that we can get done right away. And then there's others that might take a little bit longer based on the original schedule that you might have seen.
Thank you. Mr. Dark, lastly on this item, would you just give an overview on the debt service bond that's on the agenda that we got just for the general public and basically for my knowledge as well as to what we're doing and why we're doing it?
Okay, yes, sir, I'll be glad to. The city has a separate debt service fund that is mostly funded by the property taxes that citizens pay that are dedicated to general obligation bond issue projects. The debt service fund, when you adopted the budget for this year, we did not include the cost for the brand-new debt that we sold in November and then the brand-new debt that we sold again this spring, the first group of the 2024 bonds and the last group of the 2021s. The ordinance that's in front of you that will be introduced, I believe, today, will appropriate, I believe, almost about $3.6 million, I believe, in payments for this year. Essentially, these are the first payments on those bond issues, and they were not appropriated in last December because we didn't know how much they would be. So that's all you're being asked to do is move money from the debt service funds reserve, which is considerable, to actually the account that pays for these bonds. So that's what's on the agenda.
So if we had known how much it would have been, then it would have been already.
Yes, sir. I mean, in
But-
fact,
so-
we have the same kind of situation. If we were going to be selling bonds, say sometime in the first half of next year, and we had a payment that was due at the end of the year next year, we would be doing the same thing because we wouldn't know in December when you vote on the 26 debt service fund, you wouldn't know exactly how much those payments were, but we will include everything that we know as of that date. And that's what we did then.
Thank you. That clears up a
Thank you.
lot. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
At this time, we're at item F, reports on contract for scope of work on 70th from line to I-49.
We can go ahead and pass on that. I'll just contact Mr. North myself and get an update, and I'll let y'all know.
Okay.
Where's Mr. North? Is he here?
He's not.
No, I didn't see him.
One of the things you all might want to know that relates to DOTD, and you might want to ask him, those of you who have some interest in this, David has been working with the DOTD folks about trying to move up in priority some work on the interloop. And I think David believes they are potentially succeeding in getting it moved up a couple of years because it clearly needs it. So that was a priority of ours at the Highway Road Show last year. And so that's something that you might also want to visit with him about.
Thank you.
Thank you. If that's the last item, if there's nothing else.
Before you hit that, I just have one quick question, Mr. Dark, is when a project such as the water tower painting or any other project, when a project goes out for bid and we have multiple bids, is it necessary that, not necessary, is it necessary that we always take the lowest bidder? Or is there a percentage that we are afforded that allows us to take the middle of the road if that's better for us, instead of always taking the lowest bidder?
At the risk of practicing law, and Mr. Edwards is in the audience if he wishes to help me here, Louisiana law requires us to award to the lowest responsive bidder. Now, responsive obviously can be defined differently, but normally it is our practice to award to the bidder who has the lowest price, unless there is some reason that we, feel that they're not responsive. And usually what happens when somebody's non-responsive is they don't turn in the fair share forms or something like that. It's not a matter of whether that contractor's fit. That has not really occurred a whole lot lately.
But there's nothing in our charter or anywhere in writing that gives us the latitude to actually say,
It's all going to be governed by the state bid law.
got it, thank you.
If nothing else, we adjourn.